Hey guys, it's Bella and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be filming my April monthly plan with me, and I'm going to be using this journaling kit from Lexie Kylee Designs along with some icons that I have made. So here is the kit. So it is 2 pages. Technically they are 2 separate like a la carte sheets, but if you purchase them, like both of them, then you can basically make a journaling kit. So yeah, this is the honey theme, which I thought was just really pretty, and I liked the colors and everything, so that is why I picked this one up. And then, like I said, I did make some sheets to sort of go with it. So I've made myself some icons, some date dots, and then I've also made some scripts for like the holidays and astrological events of the month. And then I've made myself some labels and some sidebar bills and some other little functionals, and then just some more boxes and labels. And I will also be doing my currently page as well, which I'll just quickly show it here, but I'll also be doing that as well. But first I will start off with the main monthly spread. So yeah, I will zoom in. I'll do 1 page at a time. I will zoom in and get started. And yeah, I'll be listening to my YouTube in the background. And yeah. Okay. So I've just zoomed in so that you can see what I'm doing. Also, apologies for the lighting. If there's any weird lighting issues, I believe I used my artificial light in this video because the lighting was really bad this day. Like, I'm pretty sure the sun was like hiding behind a cloud while I did this first part, and then at some point it did come back and then it just went again. So I did have my light on for that reason. And the next time that I use it, I might try it on like a brighter setting and see if that does anything. But yeah, I think here is like where the sun came back, which is why it gets a bit blown out. But yeah, this is my first time filming like my monthly spread in this format. So if I kind of don't really know what I'm doing, that's probably why. And it didn't also help that I was a little bit all over the place when I planned this, because like normally I do everything sort of like in a set way. Like I'll do the like base portion, so like the days of the week, the sidebar, like any days not in the month, and then normally I would do like my bill dues and that kind of stuff, and then go into the like day-by-day plans, I guess, shall we say. But because I like had both pages separately, I kind of just like filled 1 page and then sort of went and did the other page. So there's no like rhyme or reason as to what I'm really doing, but I did just put some of the torn paper to cover up the days not in the month. And then because the Sunday on like the last week was split in half, I thought I would just use like the Sunday in the top corner and just make the last day of the month there. So then I had space to put stuff for that date, rather than trying to squeeze it in the little triangle, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, so I just did that and then put some more deco at the top, and then I did my sidebar. So I like to use the little swatches that come in the kit to layer underneath the scripts that I've made. So I've got like a this month and then a checklist that I've made myself, and then a next month and a checklist that I've made for myself, which is pretty self-explanatory, just any like important to-dos and things for the month, and then important dates or anything for the next month. So I did fill this in, I think at the end of the spread or like off camera, I can't actually remember, because I do fill in pretty much the bulk of the spread on camera, like all the day-by-day plans and stuff. But yeah, so like for this month, it was like I had to order kits and things for like my lineup. I had to plan for Mother's Day for the like so that I was ready for May, and then I also had my last driving lesson, which I mentioned in my last spread, which would have been my Easter spread. And then I used some of like the deco elements from the kit on the sidebar just to fill up some space. And then I do have some like currently stickers as well, which I do have like a proper currently page, which I'll show at the end of this video, like when I get to it. But I do like to have like these little stickers that just say like currently watching, currently listening to, and currently reading, which at the moment I'm not reading anything. So that's sort of been blank. And then just like a little kind of overview. So like currently watching, I put in K-dramas because I watched a couple of K-dramas in the month of April. And then currently listening, I've just put K-pop because there was a lot of K-pop releases as well. So that was sort of the bulk of what I was listening to. But like say for like a previous month, if there was like a particular album or TV show or anything that I was watching, that's what I would put there. So yeah, and then here I'm just erasing everything because I do write everything in my monthly in pencil. So then when it comes to this, like it's easy for me to erase, although going forward, I'm going to copy like what I've written in pencil onto my iPad. So then that way I can literally just erase it all before I start filming. And then that way I don't actually forget what I've written down, because at some points here I think I had some stuff written and I was like, did I get everything? I'm not too sure. So yeah, so then I'm just putting in the dates, and this is also the point where I realized that I used the wrong template, because usually when I make stickers for myself, I just use a template, and I accidentally used the one for the month of February, so I only had 28 date covers, so then I did have to improvise for the 29th and the 30th. So you'll see that later on, but yeah. So the first thing that I marked in was the end of daylight savings, which technically doesn't affect me in my state because we don't have daylight savings, but more so because we have friends who live over east. So the time difference is less now than what it was. So just thought I would mark that in, and I used this little clock sticker, which was freebie. I totally forgot that I had a clock sticker on the icons page that I made myself, but it is what it is. And then I marked in my US delivery with a parcel from the icons that I made. I also had dinner at my dad's. And then I also marked in some K-pop releases. So 𝚑𝚑 and 𝚜𝚑𝚘𝚗𝚑 had their comebacks, both of which I wasn't really too much of a fan of. I definitely liked 𝚑𝚑's comeback a lot more, but it was more so like their B-sides. I didn't really like the title track. And then because 𝚜𝚑𝚘's was like a mini album, whereas 𝚑𝚑's I think was more like a full album. It was only like 4 songs in comparison to, I think it was like maybe 10 or so. So 𝚜𝚑𝚘's release, I think I only liked one B-side out of the 4 songs. So, you know, but that was that. I then marked in NCT Jung, which I loved their release. So definitely want to buy a physical copy. And then I also just added in some of the holidays. So I added in Easter Sunday and Easter Monday, which those scripts I made myself, because I do make things to go with these kits because they are technically just journaling kits. I marked in my doctor's appointment, which was for my knee, and then technically like I had a sick day, but I do mark that off camera, and you'll see that at the end when I showed like the finished spread, just because I didn't pull a sticker for it, because I did try to pull stickers for things before I started filming. And then down the bottom, I also just marked in Anzac Day, and then I also put in my iCloud bill, and then here I'm just using a headphone icon from My Newest Addiction to mark in 17's comeback. And I believe the AirPods that I used were from Stella Co, who's no longer open, for the 17th. And then here is where I'm using that top corner for like the 30th. So I just marked in that my yoga membership was due. So we have like a monthly membership at a yoga studio. So it comes out at the end of each month, which gives us unlimited classes for the month. So I used the yoga sticker, yoga mat from Purple Bunny Prince. And then here is where I marked in finishing a K-drama. So I finished watching Something in the Rain. So I just used the TV from the icons sheet that I made for myself. So now moving to the other side, I'm sort of doing the same thing. But yeah, like as I said, this was my first time doing this on camera. So it is like a little wonky in the way that I do it. And I feel like going forward, I might just like do it like I would a normal plan with me. So like the base items first. So any top deco, like the days of the week, the sidebar, the dates, adding any holidays in, that kind of thing. And then maybe going to like my bills and then going into the day by day, because then it's like a little bit more cohesive. And then also I won't have issues with spacing, because you'll see, especially on this side of the page, some days had like a lot of things planned and I just didn't space it properly because I was sort of doing it like on the spot. Whereas normally, like I said, I would have like the holidays and then the bills like already in. So then when I'm doing the day-by-day planning, like I use a lot more of the white space, which I kind of didn't really use in this spread. So yeah, you'll see what I mean when I get there. But I just added in the holidays for this side of the page. So I put in Passover, like when it began and when it ended. I also put in Good Friday, the end of Ramadan, and then I also put in Earth Day. So those were all scripts that I had made myself to go with this spread. So yeah, and these were all like holidays that were pretty much marked in the planner except for Anzac Day, because this is an American planner. So yeah. And I think Easter Monday as well. Like it just had Easter Sunday. But yeah, so again, just putting in the deco and things just to decorate the top and also to cover like the days not in the month. And then here I decided to do the dates, and then I will do the sort of day by day section. And I think at some point my camera does run out, so then I had to like restart the footage. But yeah, and again, here is where I'm like trying to think of like what I'm going to do for the 29th, because I didn't have the date for that day, which I have since like checked going forward for May and June. But I remembered that I actually like updated my template that I was using. So like I added a couple more icons. I changed my font because I was sort of working on like a reformat and things for like my shop if and when I eventually open. So yeah. So first thing here I marked in was my Honeybee Shop Babe box, which bills on the 1st of each month. So rather than using like a bill due sticker for my subscriptions, I like to sort of just fill that in like an event for the day. And then on the 5th, I marked in Amazon. So I used the bill due. I think here is where my camera died. But yeah, Amazon, I used a bill due. I marked in A-Pink's comeback, getting my nails done. And it was also payday. So you can see that day is very squished. And same with the following day. So I marked in the full moon, my Apple Music, my last driving lesson, and then some happy mail. And then on the 7th, I marked in finishing the glory with a TV icon from Kylee Plans. The payday character is from the Coffee Monsters Co. and the AirPods are from Style Planner. And then we've got the Munchkin covered in mail on the Thursday. And then I also marked off camera the FPOS crash that we had on Easter Saturday. So that you'll see at the end of the video. But yes, and then I marked in my Sugar Pop Fizz subscription. So again, just marked in a subscription as like an event. And I also marked my phone bill the same way because this was my first phone bill with my new plan. And then I marked in my health insurance bill. I also marked in some mail from Mama Me Handmade Designs. And then also my period, because I do like to track my period in my monthly, my weekly, and in the like year at a glance. So I used that like pad sticker from Style Planner. And then my Viki subscription, which still trying to decide if I should cancel it because I haven't really been using it to its full potential. Viki is an Asian streaming service. I think I've mentioned this a few times, but they have like K-dramas, C-dramas, J-dramas, and they also have Thai dramas, I believe. So, and like movies as well. And I think they have variety shows on there. But yeah, haven't really been using it because a lot of the K-dramas do come to Netflix. Which I think is just a location thing because I am in Australia. So I think that's just why that is. But yeah, anyways. And then I marked in payday again. So that sticker is from Sabai Co, Sabai Co. Don't know if they're still open. I will leave a link in the description if they are. Again, just marked in some astrological things. So the new moon in Aries and the beginning of Taurus season. And also that I had to get an x-ray for my knee, which was fine. Thankfully, there was nothing wrong with it. I also marked in my Spotify bill and then the PBC sale, which technically the week before that was the Ultimate Planner sale as well, but I didn't buy anything that week, so I just didn't feel like marking it because I didn't buy anything during that sale, whereas I did purchase from 2 shops in the PBC. At the bottom, I marked in my waxing appointment. So here's a wax bot from Kylee Plans, and then the doctor is from Once More With Love. And then I think the final thing that I mark in is my Microsoft Office 365 bill. So I had to pull in a bill due from, I believe it's from Mama Me Handmade Designs, to sort of pull in because like for whatever reason, I haven't updated my the template to have enough bill dues. So I don't have enough to like, yeah, I don't have enough for like all the bills. So for that one, I've been sort of pulling it in. But I think that was everything for the monthly spread. And then here is me sort of setting up my currently, which I don't really do too much because I'm pretty sure I filled the bulk of it off camera because a lot of it I've like pre-planned in beforehand because I do like try to keep up with it during the month, like any shows or movies that I've watched or am currently watching. And then I do like to have my listening section, which is sort of my playlist for the month. So I try to like add to that sort of like each week. So like the top songs for like each week or whenever there's like a new release or something, that kind of thing. And then I do have my purchases, which again, I do like to try and keep track of when I'm making said purchase, but yeah. And then on the side here, I'm just putting in the important dates. So this is mainly just like anything that I want to keep track of. So I put in like daylight savings and Mercury retrograde, and then also Anzac Day, because like I said, this is an American planner, so it doesn't have that automatically in there. And then it did already have like Passover and Good Friday and Easter. So yes, and then here I'm just decorating the top section, which I do like to use as like a checklist. And then I do have like my priorities, which hasn't really been too full on in a sense. Like it's really just been film videos. So that's sort of like what I left there. And then I do like to track any challenges for my Apple Watch, which unfortunately, when I got my new phone, I forgot to sync my Apple Watch properly. So I lost my challenges for like the first, I think it was 3 months of the year. So my, January, February and March. Yes, I'm like trying to think correctly. January, February and March, like monthly challenges, as well as like my Lunar New Year challenge. And I think it was like a New Year's challenge as well. But yeah, so thankfully, like I did get a couple of challenges for the month of April. So I got the Earth Day challenge and the International Dance Day challenge. But because I synced my watch like a few days after the month had begun, I couldn't get the monthly challenge. So now moving forward, like I have the May challenge currently that I'm working through. But yeah, it's just something like fun that I like to track on my currently spread. So yeah, I just used a watch sticker from Kylee Plans for that. And like I said, I just filled everything in. And then I did fill pretty much the bulk of this spread off camera. I just added a couple of icons. So this TV from Kylee Plans. I used a primrose from Tick Pink Planning, and then an emoji from the Coffee Monsters Co, I believe. Okay, so here is the finished spread. Apologies for the lighting. I've run out of light because it is now 4 o'clock-ish. Yeah. Anyways, but here is the finished spread. I also kind of mucked up because for whatever reason, I used my February template. So I didn't have the 29th or the 30th in my date, so I had to put in some extra date dots. I've also just tried to glue tape some of these scripts that didn't peel off the page nicely. But yeah, let me just tick these off because that's done. But yeah, so here is the sort of like monthly spread portion. I'm just gonna trim this nicely as well. There we go. So here is the monthly spread. Hopefully this is focused. I'm really worried that it's not. Sorry, I'm like kind of out of it. This spread was kind of a hot mess, and now I'm kind of like, I don't know if this video is gonna make it to YouTube. Especially because my intro was just really like all over the place as well. But yeah, only extra things I've added since the spread was the sick day here and the FBOSS crash, because there were sort of two like major events of the month as well. I just didn't have it in my pre-planning. But yeah, and then here is the notes page. So yeah, just all filled in, which I really enjoy. So I'll show you what I have left from the journaling kit. So really just some little bits of deco, like the little, what are these called? Like sparkles, I guess. One little shape, and then some of these little hexagons as well. And then from my like icons and things that I've made, I have a few icons left, which these will go in my reusable sticker book. And then just like some labels and miscellaneous functional things, which again will go in my reusable sticker book. So yeah, now I need to like triple check that the things that I've made for May and June have enough dates, because I've already printed those, but I haven't cut them, and I'm just like freaking out that I used the wrong template again. But that was totally a me thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and sort of like enjoyed seeing how I do my monthly setup. And hopefully I'll be able to do these again for future months, and it'll be a little bit smoother and not as awkward. Like I said, I wasn't really sure what I was doing because this is the first time I've done this on camera. So yeah, that is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.